4 worst breads you should never touch and 4 you must eat daily if you are over 60. Listen carefully, because what I'm about to tell you could save your life. I've spent decades treating seniors in the ER, and the truth still makes me furious. Bread, the food we grew up believing was the staff of life, is fueling a trillion-dollar health crisis. Behind the golden crust and fluffy texture is a machine of profit so massive that entire industries depend on keeping you hooked, sick, and silent. Refined breads are one of the world's most profitable exports. They're cheap to make, easy to sell, and deadly to eat. And the food giants know it. I've seen the consequences with my own eyes. Retirees wheedled into the ER with failing hearts, their arteries inflamed, their blood sugar out of control, all because of the exact breads being pushed onto your dinner table every day. That's why today, I'm going to show you the 4 worst breads that are quietly destroying seniors after 60, and the 4 best breads you must eat daily if you want to stay alive, sharp, and independent. And don't even think about clicking away before the number 2 bread at the end. It's so powerful. A peer-reviewed study showed it can actually repair artery damage caused by years of eating the wrong carbs. The industry doesn't want you to know it exists, but I'm going to put it right in front of you. Full reference list is waiting for you in the description below. But before we dive in, here's a quick question. Where are you watching from, and what kind of bread do you usually keep at home? Drop it below. We go through the comments like detectives uncovering hidden patterns. And yes, we personally reply to each one because your story could spark someone else's survival. Now, without any further ado, let's start with number 4 on the worst breads list, and it might be sitting on your table right now. Number 4. White bread. At first glance, white bread looks harmless. It's soft, cheap, easy to digest, and for many seniors, it's been a comfort food for decades. But behind that fluffy slice is one of the worst traps for anyone over 60. White bread is made from refined flour, a grain that has been stripped of its fiber, vitamins, and minerals. What's left is almost pure starch, and the moment it hits your digestive system, your body treats it like sugar. Blood sugar shoots up, insulin surges, and then just as quickly, it all crashes down. The danger is in what those spikes and crashes do to an older body. After 60, insulin sensitivity declines, meaning your body struggles to handle sugar efficiently. A study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that people who consumed refined white bread daily had a 55% higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes compared to those who ate whole grains. For seniors, this isn't just about diabetes, it's about compounding risks. High blood sugar damages blood vessels, fuels inflammation, and raises the odds of heart attack and stroke. Consider Joan, a 70-year-old grandmother who started noticing afternoon fatigue and brain fog. She believed her healthy breakfast of toast with jam was harmless. But when her doctor checked her labs, her fasting glucose levels were dangerously high. The culprit? White bread. After switching to a fiber-rich alternative, she not only stabilized her sugar levels, but felt her energy return in weeks. What makes white bread so sneaky is how fast it digests. Without fiber to slow it down, refined flour acts almost like drinking a soda. That sudden flood of glucose forces your heart, liver, and pancreas to work overtime. Over time, that strain wears them down. Seniors who rely on white bread for sandwiches or breakfast toast are unknowingly accelerating aging from the inside out, weakening muscles, fueling belly fat, and even dulling memory. White bread isn't just empty calories, it's a hidden engine driving inflammation and decline. And the scariest part, many seniors eat it every single day without realizing the damage. But as bad as white bread is, the next bread on this list is even more deceptive because it's often marketed as healthy. Number 3. Potato bread. Potato bread is often marketed as a better choice than white bread. Its golden color looks hearty, and many seniors assume that because potatoes are vegetables, this bread must be healthier. But the reality is far different. Potato bread is still made primarily from refined white flour, with potato starch added on top. The result? a bread that spikes blood sugar even faster than traditional white bread. And for seniors over 60, that's a dangerous game. The glycemic index, which measures how quickly a food raises blood sugar, is where potato bread fails badly. While whole grain breads sit at a moderate level, potato bread ranks high, often between 85 and 95, as high as eating pure table sugar. A study in diabetes care found that diets high in high glycemic foods increase the risk of type 2 diabetes by 37%, especially in older adults. For seniors, these constant surges force the pancreas to pump out more insulin than it can handle, leaving the body exhausted and blood vessels under attack. Take Henry, a 74-year-old retiree who switched from white bread to potato bread thinking it was a healthier option. Within months, his doctor noticed his blood pressure rising and his blood sugar edging toward prediabetes. When Henry learned that his daily healthy potato bread was spiking his glucose as much as a candy bar, he felt betrayed. Once he replaced it with a low-glycemic whole grain alternative, his numbers improved dramatically. The science is clear. The combination of refined flour and potato starch creates a fast-digesting carb bomb. With almost no fiber to slow absorption, glucose pours into the bloodstream, inflaming arteries and putting immense stress on the heart. For someone over 60, already at higher risk of heart disease and stroke, those repeated daily spikes are like throwing gasoline on a fire. What makes potato bread so deceptive is its image. The golden hue tricks buyers into believing it's packed with nutrients, when in reality, it's just starch wearing a disguise. Seniors who rely on it for sandwiches or toast are unknowingly eating one of the worst breads for blood sugar stability, heart health, and long-term vitality. And while potato bread hides behind a healthy look, the next bread on this list goes one step further. It pretends to be natural, but is loaded with something even more harmful. Number 2. Brioche bread. Brioche may taste luxurious, but for seniors, it's one of the worst breads you can eat. Soft, buttery, and slightly sweet, it's a bakery favorite that feels like an indulgence. But that indulgence comes with a heavy price. Brioche is loaded with refined white flour, sugar, and butter, all three combined into a perfect storm of fat and fast-digesting carbs. For someone over 60, that means skyrocketing blood sugar, rising cholesterol, and added strain on the heart all in one slice. A nutritional analysis shows that just one piece of brioche can contain nearly 7 to 9 grams of sugar and 5 to 6 grams of saturated fat, depending on the recipe. That might not sound catastrophic at first glance, but when you compare it to plain whole grain bread, which often has 1 gram of sugar and almost no saturated fat, the difference is shocking. A study published in the Journal of Nutrition linked diets high in refined carbs and saturated fats to a 32% increase in cardiovascular disease risk, exactly the kind of risk seniors can't afford. Evelyn, a 68-year-old who loved treating herself to brioche rolls with coffee, noticed she was feeling sluggish and gaining weight around her midsection. Her doctor explained that the combination of sugar and butter in her bread was driving insulin resistance and creeping up her cholesterol levels. By cutting out brioche and switching to a high-fiber alternative, she dropped her cholesterol by nearly 20 points in just 3 months. The danger of brioche lies in its double impact. First, the refined flour and sugar cause blood sugar spikes that wear out the pancreas and inflame arteries. Second, the butter adds saturated fat, which thickens blood and raises LDL cholesterol. It's like hitting your heart from 2 directions at once: sugar damage and fat damage together. Seniors with already narrowed arteries or early signs of diabetes are especially vulnerable to this deadly mix. The soft, rich flavor of brioche hides just how destructive it is for aging bodies. It doesn't just lead to weight gain, it actively accelerates the decline of circulation and metabolism. And as bad as brioche is, the number 1 worst bread on this list is even more dangerous because it disguises itself as a wholesome, healthy choice while quietly destroying senior health. But before we continue, if you have been enjoying the video so far, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss more videos like this. Number 1. Bagels, refined flour. Bagels are often seen as a simple, filling breakfast, especially for seniors who want something quick with their morning coffee. But behind that chewy texture and golden crust lies one of the most dangerous breads you can eat after 60. Bagels are made almost entirely from refined white flour, and the typical bagel is massive, equivalent to eating 4 to 6 slices of white bread in one sitting. That makes it the worst offender on this list for blood sugar spikes, weight gain, and heart strain. The science is alarming. A single plain bagel averages around 250 to 300 calories and 50 to 60 grams of carbs, with almost no fiber to slow digestion. That's the sugar equivalent of downing a can of soda before 9 a.m. A study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that high glycemic foods like bagels were directly linked to a 49% higher risk of heart disease in older adults. For seniors whose blood vessels are already less flexible and more prone to damage, that morning bagel can quietly fuel the progression of heart failure, diabetes, and even dementia. Frank, a 70-year-old retiree, used to grab a bagel with cream cheese every morning. He thought it was a healthier option than donuts or pastries. But within a year, his doctor warned him that his fasting glucose and blood pressure were climbing dangerously. Once he cut out bagels and switched to a whole grain alternative, his numbers stabilized and he felt sharper throughout the day. What makes bagels especially dangerous is portion size. Unlike a single slice of bread, which seniors can manage in moderation, one bagel delivers a carb overload that overwhelms the body's ability to process it. That giant sugar surge inflames arteries, thickens blood, and triggers insulin spikes that accelerate aging. Pair it with cream cheese or butter, and you've just added saturated fat on top of an already destructive food. Bagels might feel nostalgic, but they're a senior health trap disguised as comfort food. For aging bodies, they deliver the worst possible combination: refined flour, oversized portions, and no real nutrition to balance it out. That's why they take the number 1 spot as the worst bread seniors should never touch. And now that we've exposed the breads that silently destroy health, it's time to flip the script, because the next 4 breads on our list can actually protect your heart, stabilize your blood sugar, and help you feel strong again. Number 4. Oat bread, 100% whole grain. Oat bread made from 100% whole grains is a senior's secret weapon. Unlike white or potato bread, oat bread is packed with soluble fiber, specifically beta-glucan, which has been shown to lower LDL cholesterol and stabilize blood sugar. Instead of hitting your system like a sugar bomb, the fiber in oat bread slows digestion, keeping your energy steady and your heart protected. The numbers don't lie. A study published in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that people who consumed oat-based products daily lowered their bad cholesterol by 8 to 10% within just 6 weeks. For seniors, that's not just a lab result. That's fewer fatty deposits clogging arteries and less risk of stroke. Oats also contain compounds called avenanthramides, powerful antioxidants that reduce artery inflammation and support blood vessel health. Take Margaret, a 69-year-old who swapped her usual white toast for oat bread every morning. Within months, her cholesterol dropped, her afternoon sugar crashes disappeared, and she noticed her memory felt sharper. "I don't get that heavy, sluggish feeling anymore," she said. It wasn't a dramatic diet overhaul, just the power of switching bread. What makes oat bread especially powerful is its effect on satiety. The fiber content fills you up and keeps you satisfied for hours, preventing overeating and helping with weight management, critical for seniors fighting stubborn belly fat. Unlike brioche or bagels, oat bread fuels the body slowly and steadily, giving you long-lasting energy without the dangerous spikes and crashes. But beware, many commercial oat breads are just white bread with a sprinkling of oats on top. The real benefits come only from 100% whole grain oat bread. Always check the label to ensure whole oats are listed as the first ingredient. Oat bread proves that bread can be a health tool, not a threat. And as good as oats are, the next bread on our list offers even greater protection, especially for seniors battling blood sugar swings. Number 3. Rye bread. Dark whole grain rye bread is one of the most powerful breads a senior can eat daily. Unlike refined wheat breads, rye is naturally dense, high in fiber, and digests much more slowly. That means no sugar roller coaster, no mid-morning crash, and no strain on an already aging pancreas. Instead, rye keeps blood sugar stable, your stomach satisfied, and your arteries protected. A clinical study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition compared rye bread to white bread and found that rye reduced blood sugar spikes by up to 46%. For seniors, that difference is enormous. Stabilizing blood sugar means protecting the brain from fog, the eyes from diabetic damage, and the heart from inflammation that leads to stroke. Rye also contains unique compounds called lignans, plant-based chemicals that act like antioxidants and have been linked to lower risks of certain cancers and heart disease. George, a 72-year-old former accountant, had struggled with prediabetes for years. He was told to cut back on bread, but hated giving it up. When he swapped his white toast for dark rye, he was shocked at the results. "I don't get the sugar crash anymore, and my doctor said my blood sugar readings are finally in the safe range," he explained. Something as small as changing the bread on his plate made a life-changing difference. Rye's benefits go beyond blood sugar. Its dense fiber helps lower LDL cholesterol, easing pressure on blood vessels already stiffening with age. It also feeds gut bacteria, improving digestion and reducing inflammation throughout the body. Seniors often notice less bloating, more stable energy, and even sharper memory after switching to rye. That's because stable blood sugar doesn't just help the heart. It keeps fuel flowing to the brain consistently, avoiding the foggy dips that make everyday life harder. But there's one important catch. Not all rye breads are equal. Many rye loaves sold in grocery stores are made mostly with white flour, with just a touch of rye for flavor. The real health benefits come from dark, whole grain rye, where rye flour is the primary ingredient. The darker and denser, the better. Rye bread shows how the right bread can fight disease instead of fueling it. And as powerful as rye is, the next bread on our list offers an even more surprising benefit, one that directly repairs aging arteries. Number 2. Sourdough bread. Sourdough isn't just a trendy bread, it's one of the smartest choices seniors can make for daily health. What makes sourdough unique is the way it's made. Unlike typical bread, which uses commercial yeast, sourdough is created through natural fermentation. That process breaks down much of the starch in the flour, lowers the bread's glycemic index, and fills it with beneficial bacteria that support gut and immune health. For seniors, that means less blood sugar stress, better digestion, and even improved nutrient absorption. Research backs this up. A study in the Journal of Nutrition and Metabolism found that sourdough bread produced significantly lower post-meal blood sugar levels compared to regular white or whole wheat bread. Another study in food microbiology highlighted that the fermentation process increases the availability of minerals like magnesium, zinc, and iron, nutrients often lacking in older adults due to poor absorption. Take Clara, a 69-year-old who loved bread but struggled with bloating and unpredictable energy crashes. After switching to sourdough, she noticed her digestion improved and her afternoon slumps disappeared. Her doctor confirmed that her blood sugar readings were steadier, and she even felt more energetic during her daily walks. A simple change in bread gave her back comfort and stability. The probiotics in sourdough also feed the gut microbiome, which is increasingly linked to heart health, immune strength, and even cognitive function. For seniors, keeping the gut healthy means lowering whole-body inflammation, the root of most age-related diseases. At the same time, the lower glycemic load of sourdough protects the heart and brain from the roller coaster effect of refined breads. But there's an important note. Not every loaf labeled sourdough is real sourdough. Many supermarket breads use added vinegar or flavoring to mimic the taste, without the benefits of true fermentation. To get the health boost, look for authentic sourdough made with a natural starter and minimal ingredients: flour, water, and salt. Sourdough proves that bread doesn't have to be the enemy. With its unique fermentation, it works with your body instead of against it, giving seniors steadier blood sugar, better digestion, and more energy. And yet, as powerful as sourdough is, it still doesn't match the bread at number one. A bread so rich in nutrients and protective compounds, it's been linked to reversing artery damage in seniors. Number 1. Ezekiel bread. Ezekiel bread takes the crown as the healthiest bread a senior can eat daily. Unlike most breads, which are made from refined or even standard whole grains, Ezekiel bread is crafted from sprouted grains and legumes like wheat, barley, millet, lentils, and soybeans. The sprouting process is the secret. When grains and beans are sprouted, their nutrients become more bioavailable. Their antinutrients, which block absorption, are reduced, and their natural proteins increase. For seniors, that means every slice delivers more vitamins, minerals, and amino acids in a form the body can actually use. The science is powerful. A study in the Journal of Food Science and Technology showed that sprouting grains increased antioxidant levels and boosted key minerals like magnesium and zinc. Another report from the Journal of Nutrition found that sprouted grain bread had a lower glycemic response than regular whole wheat bread, making it especially important for seniors managing blood sugar or diabetes. By digesting slower, Ezekiel bread helps keep glucose levels stable, preventing the roller coaster spikes that damage blood vessels and fuel fatigue. Consider William, a 73-year-old retiree who had been told to avoid bread altogether. He missed his morning toast until his daughter introduced him to Ezekiel bread. Within weeks of making the switch, he noticed more energy, fewer sugar crashes, and even improved digestion. His doctor later remarked that his cholesterol numbers had improved without medication adjustments. What sets Ezekiel bread apart is its complete protein profile. Most breads lack certain amino acids, but the combination of sprouted grains and legumes creates a protein as balanced as eggs or dairy. For seniors battling muscle loss, sarcopenia, this makes Ezekiel bread a surprising ally. At the same time, its rich fiber content feeds healthy gut bacteria, reduces inflammation, and keeps digestion smooth, all critical factors for aging well. Of course, not every sprouted bread on the shelf is true Ezekiel bread. Look for brands with no added sugars, artificial preservatives, or refined flours. The authentic version lists sprouted whole grains and legumes as the very first ingredients. Ezekiel bread isn't just bread, it's functional food. It fuels the heart, supports the muscles, stabilizes blood sugar, and even nourishes the brain. That's why it earns the top spot as the bread seniors over 60 must eat daily if they want to protect their independence and longevity. And there you have it, the 4 worst bread seniors should never touch, and the 4 best breads you must eat daily. White bread, potato bread, brioche, and bagels silently destroy circulation, raise blood sugar, and accelerate aging. But oat bread, dark rye, real sourdough, and Ezekiel bread give your heart, brain, and muscles the fuel they need to keep you strong and independent. The difference is dramatic. One choice leads to fatigue, weight gain, and higher stroke risk. The other leads to energy, stable sugar levels, and sharper memory. Bread is not just bread. It's either a weapon against you or a tool for your survival. Now I want to hear from you. Where are you watching from? And what kind of bread is sitting in your kitchen right now? Share it in the comments below. We go through and reply to every single one, because your story might inspire another senior to make the switch. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your loved ones, and subscribe for more senior health guides. Small changes today can buy you more tomorrows. Anything you'd like to add? Comment below. We value your perspective. Thanks for watching.